This is the pair of SD9s that I ordered. These are non-sound, and I hope to put soundtracks, sound modules, and speakers in these. And I'll go ahead and unbox the 6226 for you here. Pretty standardized packaging so far. And then the paperwork in the top of the box, of course, your operating manual, and I believe this is going to have a lot of applications for the sound module, which is not present here. Stickers. Pretty cool. Fake builder plate. And then here we get to the model. This is pretty common amongst many leading models these days.
Black Hills and Eastern Railroad, from the plains of the Sioux Empire to the heart of the hills.
This SD9 and her sisters in the same order were built in April of 1959 for Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy subsidiary Colorado Southern. In 1970 or sometime after that, they were painted green with the coming Burlington Northern merger in that same year. I will echo comments made by Burlington Northern Modeler on his YouTube channel about this same model regarding the beacon being off to the side on the cab. We don't really have any evidence to show that this beacon was ever mounted anything other than on center on the top of the cab. Also, the walkway should be black, and that's not from paint, but that's from a non-skid material that was applied, I believe, after delivery at some point to these walkways. And it wouldn't necessarily be black. It'd get dirty really quickly, and probably a person would want to start with like an engine black or something very flat and maybe almost gray there on that surface. Time will tell if I actually want to correct that error or not. Coming around the front of the model here, we see MU hoses that are separately applied, cut levers, train line hose, and a metal knuckle coupler here. Also separately applied metal grab irons, and of course the beacon that I mentioned before. Windshield wipers on the front of the cab. Air horn, exhaust outlets, and this pretty much the same thing in the back. Noteworthy here is the positionable drop step. If you're running the locomotive just by itself, you have that positioned up. If you're running it in consist, obviously that's down. And the very same thing on the back end here. Class lights, which do light up. I believe this detail part here is something about the a breather for the fuel tank. We are somewhat lacking color down here. I believe that the fuel cap should be painted red, but I'm not 100% certain about that. And now that we get a nice side profile view of this locomotive, I can point out a few things that make this model truly special. So you see here how the short hood is taller than the long hood. The long hood here, it represents a normal height long hood here, but there was changes made to the electrical cabinet that needed the cab to be a little taller than it was in previous instances of the SD9. So this whole thing, the sub base and the nose got heightened, and then you see around back here, there's a little bit of height difference that indicated between the top of the roof on the long hood and the roof on the cab. So then we come back to the back of the roof here on the long hood, and you see the two 48-inch fans here. This indicates, or this was a change in the production evolution of the SD9, and they went from 4 fans here, which had been indicated on basically every plastic model ever produced in HO scale up until now. So in order to get a correct model of one of these late production SD9s, the former Colorado Southern units, you'd have had to purchase a brass model or build your own, which I thought about doing from time to time, but here it just seemed easier to get the Rapido model when they announced it. So I said earlier in the review here that my intentions are to put DCC and sound in this engine, and that's still the case. It'll be a challenge to get all the lights working here. I know that they're not factory ground lights on this engine. There are class lights on here, not that I care about them that much, but for sure the headlights and the rotating rotary beacon should be a fun challenge to deal with. So in the HO scale locomotive market, really this is the only game in town if you need a super late production SD9. I'm okay with it in spite of its shortcomings, and I'm looking forward to using it here on the Highline and probably mixed in with SD40-2s pulling mixed freight all around my layout. At some point, I'll probably show the DCC and sound installation on this locomotive and her sister as well here on the channel, and I hope you'll stick around for that. If you like the content here, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one, somewhere on the Highline.